Hello, collectives. This is Sheila, your host for Intentional Conversations. I hope you all are doing well. And let's get straight into today's podcast. Of course, today's podcast topic is going to be about spiritual warfare. I'm going to do this in a very non-dramatic, very factual, but non-dramatic, very calm way. Okay. So this is not going to be about people. This is not going to be about names. That's going to be about archetypes, maybe this personas, personality types, not names and things like that. Okay. That's to keep this very sweet, kosher, and professional. And of course, this prayed before I did this, and so my spiritual protection is on 1,000. Okay, 100,000. Um, so I hope this helped the collective. If there's anybody who's in church or Christian or anything like that, this is a perspective of somebody who's a healer in the community and what people are opening themselves up to. Not just opening themselves up to, but just everyday regular people in the community in general. Look at the Epstein trials and things like that. So there's a lot of things that's going to be coming out, especially this year in subtle ways. It's not going to be, I always tell people, it's not going to be always loud. No matter how devastating, how dark it may be, it may not come out loud, like, shocking to the point where it's shaking up a whole community like an earthquake. Even though people are being dramatic enough, I really feel like this is going to be something very subtle, okay? Spirit has a way of working things that way. So, in any case, let's get into it. A couple of years ago, I noticed some trends in the community, and then I look at those years, like around 2018, right before COVID, right at the peak of COVID, TikTok started to take off, and TikTok was really, to me, really got its attention from COVID more than anything else. But I had a vision back then about a collective of people, spiritual people, and it brings a lot of what I see today. So I'm gonna share it with you. And then we're gonna talk about what's happening in the current time. So this podcast may be a little long, okay? So what I noticed a couple years ago, I had a vision and it showed me a flock of people wearing sheep hoodies. You know how you wear a cape and you got a little hoodie, you look like a sheep. So it was sheep, a whole bunch of people in this pit, like a white, beautiful pit, and it was like a concert hall type of thing. And I could see people happily talking to each other, and it was really a community of spiritual people or seekers of spiritual community, all in this one spot. And I could see some people in the upper echelon, I call it arena. They were kind of standing over people like spiritual, and they were looking down into community as like giants, but they were living human beings. Okay, this could be someone's spell work that I was seeing. And this person, this particular pastor or apostle, was smiling happily. He was so happy. And he was looking down and he was very proud. And I could see another priest, high priestess from the community, and she was looking down, and there was a flock of sheep, and I was on the opposite side as a giant, looking down at the same pool of sheep. And Oshun appeared, and Oshun, I just want to clarify that, so people don't get this podcast in a nasty way, that I don't think Oshun is a liar. So this is a very African spirit. She's very beautiful. She was very happy that day, very proud. She looked down and she looked at the people and she was just blessed. You know how she was just oozing like, ooh, look what I did. Look what I did. Very, 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 very beautiful, very happy, very like just smug. And she looked up at me and she said, "This is what I do for my children." And I looked at her, I said, "Oh," and I'm looking at her like, "Who the heck is you? But you're absolutely gorgeous." And she looked again, she swooned. She says, "This is what I do for my children. I bless my children with abundance, and they will take care of my children." That's what she said. She said, "They will take care of my children. You must take care of the flock." And I looked at her and I smiled. And she said, "There's enough for everybody here. And this will grow if you tend to it well." And she said, "I expect you for this blessing to tend to the flock well." And I looked and I nodded my head. And the other person was he was like rubbing his hands, like, "Yeah, yeah," like that. And she came and she disappeared and then she came back again and she looks down and she kind of repeated, but in a different way, about taking care of the flock. You must tend to the flock, that this blessing doesn't come every day, and to have access to the abundance that is available to you, or the healing nature of your work. whatever you want to do in life. It was provided. She answered the call. And there were some people in the shadows, like they were shadow out. I could not see who they were with the pastor and this priestess. They were smiling. And then all of a sudden, I could look at real time and see people getting on TikTok, doing live videos, Instagram. Everything was flourishing with the community at that time. There was thousands of healers, thousands of spiritualists, all trying to share their voice and their knowledge. And everybody was good right in the very first week or two. And then all of a sudden, the energy shifted very, very quickly. And this is when my spiritual warfare started to come in. So, right at that time, a lot of people like would say something, it could be how they pronounce a Haitian word or how they pronounce or how they use some sort of old knowledge. And it may have 28 different meanings to it. They see one, and it wasn't false and it wasn't misdirected, but maybe someone who thought they knew more would get on the social media and they would gatekeep the person. Look, your intelligence is incorrect. Instead of focusing on themselves, they start to attack each other with the knowledge that one knew more and that one was more credible than other. But it wasn't done in a professional way. It was done in a very argumentative way. And back then, I wasn't aware that witches were throwing at each other till I got on TikTok. And throwing means throwing magic, black magic. And they started to have these little, I call it spiritual witch talk wars. And it got to the point where it was almost like two or three of them would constantly, every time you look, it was just them fighting a female or them fighting a guy. It was just constant people, I call it a certain few, who was consistently always gatekeeping someone and then always fighting them. And then the person disappears, right? And then I noticed that the flock started to disappear. Okay. And what I saw in the vision back at the sheep, let's think about the sheep pit. I could see people disappearing from the pit. And this is supposed to be a pit that we're supposed to treat, nourish, and grow. You tend to it. And I could hear the pastor say, we must get rid of some people. And he didn't say it nicely, y'all. He said it in a way it was like, oh shit. He said it like, we gotta weed out the people that they can't get the blessings. I don't want them to have the blessings I bestowed, blah, blah, blah. He started to, kind of, I call it over tamper his own blessings. I would have left it alone, but he started to gatekeep. And the next thing I know, I saw spell work, and I saw like wraith spirits, like out of Harry Potter. They look like those black spirits with the black cloak, and they was like woohoo. So they looked like that, but there was so many, and it started to pluck out people. People was dying. People started to fade off, like go into poverty. People started to become ill, and they would completely disappear off social media, and they was disappearing from the flock. They took that beautiful flock and started to contaminate it with their own gatekeeping, and it was nasty. And I could see the flock get so low that it wasn't even enough services for them, so to speak, because they started to attack each other, and people just started to run. People started to flee from the darkness, and that's what I have to call it, this darkness. People started to flee and hide. It was like people running into their houses and closing up all the windows and doors and shutters and say, "Don't, I don't live here," and blow out their candles, go, and they blow out their candles and hide from the, I call it the tyranny of whatever was happening to them. And it started to occur pretty strongly. And from that point, I had a vision of a former friend of mine that I used to hang out with quite often. I had a vision of him going to this particular female priestess that I saw in the dream, in the vision. I'm not gonna say dream, I was awake. He went to her, must got a reading, and he started to work with her in doing spell work against me. In the philosophy of it, I'll talk about that story later without saying names and archetype. I'll just keep it a very archetype vibe. Any case, she I call her the Red Witch. If anybody knows what Red Witch is, they don't stop. They will do until they are burned. This is why, they will burn their hand off and then they stop. They'll burn their leg. It's usually dire when they stop. Uh, so she kind of, got that red witch vibe, and she started to pursue me, for whatever reason. And I knew her, by the way, not very well, but I knew her. Okay, and before that happened, I did have a few conversations with her. I thought she was well rounded. She had a great backstory about her own spiritual family, her family lineage. It was pretty powerful. I didn't think she needed more. And I feel like her legacy was solid back then. Okay, but when you're dealing with other spiritualists, the odds of envy and whatever spirit that you work with can distort your view. I gave her some suggestions about her website, and she did well. She did very well. And I left it alone, her logos and all that. She has now since changed all her logos and things like that. Yeah, because I wasn't playing around. So we'll talk about that in the future. So it got to the point where I started to go under extreme attacks as well. But I used to get on TikTok, and I would post these prophecies that I would see, and I literally would call it prophecies because everything I say came to pass today. Like today's what, February 20th. Everything I said has came to pass in some aspect. Okay, and it's not finished yet. It's not finished yet, but most everything I said somewhat came back to pass. Okay, and it's still going. What I want the community to understand is that the sheep is probably scattered. The sheep is scattered. The sheep is all over the place, half them. And now we need a shepherd to come and gather the flock back, right? But we have to gather the sheep back in the orders of safety. And I had these spiritual, um, I call it moments, where I had Martin Luther King and Harriet Tubman. And these people, this is why I tell people that we, as spiritualists, whatever experiences you may have, you have to be very mindful because spirit sees all. Like, I'm not telling you no joke when I tell you spirit sees all. Spirit sees all. Don't mess around. You don't know what's watching you. Okay, and this could be ancestral even. That I had a vision. I shared it on TikTok one time about this message, and it happened on Martin Luther King Day, actually. I had a vision of Martin Luther King come to me. He said that I must lead the flock to safety. He mentioned the flock again, and Harriet Tubman both came on the same day, and the same message and the same vision. And he said very clearly, you must lead the flock to safety. And he showed me the bridge, and I think it was Sigma Bridge, with the one that he walked over the bridge. He was standing at that bridge, and I could see the dead, all the dead people who were crossing over this particular bridge. And he was standing there, and he says, each of us had our own thing. He says, whatever life path we had, could be good, bad, or indifferent. Everybody has their life experiences, good, bad, or indifferent, doesn't matter, but you still got a calling on your life. And he said that the flock was in danger, and that there was a upper chamber. There was the Holy Spirit, like the heavenly, the highest tier. I call it the elite tier. The middle, the high ground, and then there was the middle way, and then there was the lower path. And there was three people. It was Harriet Tubman, Martin Luther King, and a person I could not see. He was a shadow. And Martin Luther King prophesied that there was a group of young Black men that were going to form together and spiritually rape women and do really horrible magic, very hostile, very extremely dangerous, just almost like they lost their heart, soul, or something like that. And I could see them, and Harriet Tubman, just like she was as a slave, she was unbelievably strong, quick. Okay. She looked at the men and she ran to me. She's like, you have to get the people to the middle ground ASAP. and they point me to the path, and they point to the middle path. And the thing about the spiritual community out here today, like when I say the middle path, I'm gonna see about 500 people tonight probably talking about the middle path in about 2 minutes, okay? Because there's stalkers out here. They're the astral remote view, and I'm pretty sure by 3:15, everybody named Mom is gonna be talking about the middle path. But not everybody's able to get you there, okay? Because I think half these people are gonna die. No, no, what you mean? I have to be honest. I don't think half these people got the protection they need. They don't have the skill set or the protection or the spirits to help them get these people safely to wherever they're going. When I tell you there's a war, it's not a game. So there's a lot of falseness that you're going to see out in the collective about this middle path. Okay, what I saw was people being shown how to do spell work and how to go against people and do spell work. And I saw these people come with such yearning to be taught. It's nothing more disturbing to see somebody with a sweet innocence coming to a teacher to only find out that the teacher corrupt them, right? I saw these people falling off the cliff by going to a particular practitioner. The practitioner was supposed to be a mentor, and the people started to fall off the cliff, and every single one fell off the cliff, and that means they spiritually died. No, no cap. They started to fall off the cliff in droves. Okay, I saw a whole bunch of people just fall off the cliff, and then they were starting to fall off the cliff one by one, and nobody noticed that these people were spiritually somehow losing grace, somehow going into some kind of extreme spiritual doubt, and they were just falling off the cliff like in either as a cluster or one by one, and every single one went dark. Okay, I didn't see not one escape this particular person's uh teachings. Okay, and then over time I was reporting the messages on TikTok, and I deleted them all because I was under warfare that was so extreme. These group of people started to attack people on such a level of black magic, gossip, gatekeeping. If you said a word wrong, they would dissect that word, maybe diagnose you with a mental illness, which I've seen in the past, and then everybody gets on the bandwagon. And it was just like, not just it was almost like I don't want to say people were like nobody was protected enough in my mind back then because some of these people egos they thought they were protected. They had great spiritual powers, they had really strong intuition, and what I noticed is that a lot of them were boasting that they were the top shit, but somebody as quick as a light could create a false narrative and they were regurgitated as knowledge. Like, oh, divergent this and divergent that. I'm standing here quietly going, nobody saw that spell word. Nobody saw that energetic manipulation. And you up here talking about what? You wasn't even talking about this. This was not even in your aura. This was not even in your essence not even a week ago. This is not you that's speaking. It's not you that's speaking. You saw something that you want to say it, that everybody's saying it. And I'm like, you all have just been hoodoo. Not even hoodoo. I don't want to disgrace hoodoo. You've been freakazoid. You've been freakazoid. Just that quick. It was subtle. It was quick. You ate it up, honey. You ate it up and you chewed it up and you was asking for more. Okay? And I saw this quite quick. Now I was quick on it. I was like, boom, boom, let me stand back and watch this craziness. And I would mention it on my TikTok page back then. But my TikTok page was very chaotic. I had a lot of cartoon characters. I was saying a lot of, I was sassy with it. I was like, oh, here we go again. I was like, maybe I could have done it in a more professional way of telling the story. But, I did things with fan flair. I saw the manipulation. I saw the magic that was happening in the collective. And a lot of us was under the influence. A lot of you are still under the influence of this fog. And this fog is intense. This is not a normal fog. This spiritual fog is very heavily coated that I know for a fact, many 99.99991 is under the influence of it. And we have to wake people up. People are waking up. It's not, let me phrase this today. Now people are waking up, but it took quite a doing. And as the sheep was dwindling away, this create more, I call it more higher level targets. And I was a target. And the warfare that I went through by these people who created a lot of false narrative, talk about mental health, talk about gang stalking, cyber gang stalking, hacking computers, stalking you through your emails, your cell phone, all of these things. People wanted to kind of mix it up. Oh, it's government related. No, it's an organization. It's a family unit. A lot of you guys do tarot and y'all see family. It's a family unit, aka a group, a cult, whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. And this community taught young recruiters, I'm not gonna say, I'm gonna say it, gullible, because a lot of you guys thought you was tough. A lot of you guys just needed, some of you walked in with an ego, right? Or pride. I'm the smartest, most talented person you just tell me I'm talented. You tell me I'm the best thing you ever seen. And I'm a grandstand on that shit. And some of them were like, I don't want to say, it was like going to a witch house with the candy. Was it Hansel and Gretel? I feel like the community was the kids. The witch was brewing her pot to eat her children, the children that was coming. She said, "Go take a piece of candy." And the people, the candy was the knowledge, the ego, the spoon feeding. You was eating the poison. You was eating the poison of this knowledge, this poison of the awakening of your soul. Hey, how can I astral travel? How can I get into the spiritual community and do this and do that? And how can I be great and, have my spirits? So these people started to become corruptible and they were hostile. Not just, they came in like they had to fight. They had to come in angry because I noticed that every single one that got this poison was extremely hostile afterwards. They get a piece of food, a piece of candy, which was knowledge, aka, and they became extremely boastful, extremely like wild-eyed. Who am I fight? Who am I attack? Who am I get? Who's messing with you? It's like you tell them, hey, such and such is bothering me, and it could be a freaking lie. They would literally go over 130% in attacking you. And it was almost like Spirit says, sick 'em, boy, sick 'em. They was raising like a group of wild animals. And these was, to me, children, grown adults that are children who were open access. They were not shielded. They were not protected. Even when they thought they were protected, they weren't protected enough. And you can see this in the community today that a lot of you are protected, but you're not protected enough. And the ego opened up doors. And now these trespassers not just found new doors, they found doors, back doors, to back doors, to back doors where they'll never let you go. And now we have this group of people learning energy harvesting, stealing your blessings from your sacral womb, sexual wounds, and they're people, no cap, some, especially in the community that I associated with. This is a group of very young people, from all over the world. Young. These are young people learning sacred knowledge, learning sacred high society magic. And I'm talking about the elite magic. I'm not talking about the magic you found down the street. I'm talking about this. There's someone open up their mouth and it was a secret society magic, right? And I feel like somebody young got into the secret society and learned this knowledge and then told somebody down the street about this knowledge. And that secret society teaching went out to the masses. And everybody started doing it. But they didn't do it in subtle, calm, elite ways that they've always been taught. Like the secret society was able to keep it under wraps. And you just talk about it like fable stories. It got to the point where everybody down the street, you go down to Gilpin Court and you'll find somebody speaking and learning this damn knowledge. And like it was the hood. People in the hood, people working in McDonald's and Walmart, learning this elite high level magic. And then would go out and have these mentors teach them, somehow get them in this frenzy spirit to fight you, maybe through a gossip or a false narrative about you that was not true, to fight and destroy you so that the elite ones can come back and further do damage to you to steal whatever they wanted from you through energy harvesting. And that's what was happening in the collective. That's what's happening now in the collective today. And so we have to be mindful of those who speak a narrative for years, created a storyline for years to have people believing in a story that was not in their true alignment. And these people, and I always tell this to people, this could be psychics who have intuition being told a lie and never see the truth. How are you psychic if you're not able to see the truth? Your spirit team didn't tell you that was a lie, or did you lie to yourself? And I ask that question all the time. How are these psychics being able to be told a narrative and not understand that that's a lie? I don't care how glamour it was. You had no protection. You didn't have enough, clearly. And I just want people to be emphasized that the Christian community, honey, when I tell you that you need protection, honey, you need protection under uh, way more than you have now. The Bible holds you, right? The words of the sword, you live by the sword of truth. The sword is short. And I feel like some of you need to go grab your goddamn sword because you're not protected enough. And I say that out loud. A lot of you are not protected enough. You don't ever grandstand that God got me. You sure? Because I'm gonna call Jesus. I got Jesus on speed dial. Don't play with me. I'm gonna call Jesus. Jesus, do you know who? I had Jesus do this one time. I turned around and said, Jesus, do you know who this person is? Jesus said, I don't know who that is. I don't know. I don't know who that is. And she was in the reading, looked at me like she was God given gift. I was like, who was Jesus right here? I had to verify. You swearing up down, Jesus knew you. Jesus said he don't know you. Some of y'all got spiritual amnesia after you leave church on Sunday. Y'all forget. Y'all forget to walk after you leave church on Sunday. Amnesia. What I declare, and I'm declaring, that some of you guys need to get out of your ass sockets. Get out your ass. Get out your ego. Get out your boasting. Stop boasting. Stop saying you the whoop the wop wop the whoop because people will test it. And get into your protection. If you think you're protected, I'm gonna say you protected not enough. If you can't see through false narratives, you can't see that story don't sound right. You swear to God you're the most intelligent. You swear to God that nobody's gonna road run you and do you dirty. Blah blah blah. I'm telling you, a lot of you got from the jump. While the person is getting got down, the person that he's targeting is going through the mud. You getting got to. I always tell the people, it's an extension of the hand. The mud splashes everywhere. You just don't hit one spot. Because a lot of you guys are seeing people who are victimized by a community through false narratives, and you stand and grandstand. Oh, can't be me. I'm glad it ain't me. Oh, you shouldn't have messed with that red witch. I'm like, honey, how about you right there at it? You in the blast zone. Okay, you in the blast zone. Where's your wisdom at? You in the blast zone. You in the blast zone. What the hell? Oh, can't be me. Well, you in the blast zone. The person they targeting ran down the street. They're hiding in the house with the door shut, cutting the lights out, blowing out the candles and shit. And you stand there, oh, can't be me. I can't. Whoa, she fighting who? And it's like they just fueled. They got a lighter match, and they just fueling the gossip. They're fueling that ignorance. I had a spirit tell me. He says they are ignorantly blissed. He said some of these people are karmically ignorant. And that's what we're seeing. We're watching a whole group of people be karmically ignorant on full blast. And a lot of you don't even understand that a lot of you are walking and expressing yourself through your shadow, smiling like you're kind people. That's why I tell people you got to really work on your shadow. If you don't work on your shadow, it will tear you apart. Because a lot of what you do in the darkness is from the extension of your shadow. I had the people ask me in the spiritual communities that really know spirit say, sure, have you ever met the devil? Yes, I've had. And I had a conversation with the devil. And he turned to me and laughed with his big fat cigar in his throne. And he turned around and two puffs of his cigar. And he looked at me. He says, I ain't got to do nothing for these people to express themselves in the shadow. He says, what you see right there? And it was one of my friends who was hexing the living bloody hell out of me. He was swearing to Jesus. He was swearing to the devil while I wasn't dead yet. And he was insanely, he was corrupt as shit. And the devil said, he even too corrupt for me, and laughed. The devil says, I ain't doing none of that. He says, you see that right there? He's boasting a whole lot of power. He's thinking he's powerful and he's grandstanding. He's thinking he's a tough guy. He said, I'm not doing none of that. And everything he's saying is blasphemy. And he said it out loud. The devil said it himself. What he even said is too much. And he looked at me, he says, who need an enemy like that? And that's what the devil said. He looked at me, and I swear, like for God, I think the devil pitied me. He pitied me for a second. And he looked at me sad, like, oh, poor thing. And then smoked two puffs of his cigarettes and well, and then left. Okay. And then the man caught on fire. Okay. Yeah, he got some kind of spiritual judgment. You guys don't understand the level of what people could do with a charming persona. In the collective today, I'm going to talk about today's message that warfare is live and rampant out here in the community. And a lot of it looks normal to you, and it's not. A lot of the things, I'm going to say 99%, 99%, 9%, 99, is spiritual in the community. We are spiritual human beings on a spiritual planet, living a spiritual existence. Everything you do, I don't care if you're writing on a piece of paper, it could be your calling, it could be your destiny, it could be whatever. It is spiritual. You eating is spiritual. You going to shit and pee is spiritual. Everything you do is a flowing current of spirit. I don't give a damn what you're talking about. And so now that we're coming into today's time, I saw the prophecy. There's so much more stories to go, but I got to keep this in a reasonable time frame. Spiritual warfare don't look the same for everybody. If I could go to a church and speak in the church, I would tell this church, you don't understand that a lot of you right now, and I've been through it myself, each one of you may have 8 to 10 spirits in you right now. Generational curses, 20 to 25. You don't understand how you need to protect yourself, and then some of you need to shut the fuck up. What you speak on people, what you speak on yourself, and how you feel about yourself can determine a lot of what's going on in your bloodline. What's happening in your space is a turn of how you feel about yourself. You better not ever have a nigga, woman, man, female, ever speak on you about who you are. Oh, I think you like this. I will choke you up. Well, I'm gonna choke you up spiritually. I won't choke you up. I'll be nice about it. But honey, if I go to my Bible and start praying, you're gonna feel like you didn't swallow an egg. I ain't playing with you. Don't ever say, I think she like this and she like this, and you start to dissect personalities like you ain't never had a crash out moment, like you innocent, and people will start to label you and start to define you to who you are, and then they will make you believe that you're not capable of doing what you want to do in your own life. Some of you guys probably don't even want to work a corporate job, but you're doing it because everybody else is doing it. A lot of you could be singing and dancing on stage, but you got people out there thinking you should work a regular job. A lot of you should be artists. A lot of you should be a healer. A lot of you should be a writer. And nobody's expressing themselves in alignment because of the fear, okay, or what people have spoken over you, what you believe in your conscience, how you feel about yourself is how you're going to exist. And then add somebody who's spiritually doing warfare. I call it word sorcery. And it can come from family members, your best friend, your teacher. These people are subtle. I always tell people warfare is not loud always. It's subtle. It can come, warfare can be in your dreams. It can speak to you in whispers as you're working at your job. Right? And then we want to mix it up with mental health and mix it up with family traits and what you've been through. All that encompassing is warfare in some sort of level. And a lot of you need to armor up to the 9th degree. You protect. Oh, God got me, honey. You're not. As soon as you say that, I'm saying you're not protected enough. Okay, because the spirit will test you. I had people come to me for years, looking at me all skeptical, and they don't know the things I knew about them. I always tell people, don't ever come to a psych and think you hot shit. Don't ever come to a psych and think you know more than they do. Never come to a psychic, especially somebody like me, and think whatever I'm saying to you is a pile of shit. Spirit says, Sheila, don't waste your time, right? And there's some people I don't waste my time on because they come to me for a reading. I just have to give them what their ego wants, right? That was me back then. Nowadays, I will not fuck with you at all. Today's time, you ask me for a reading, I say, prepare yourself because I'm going to smash your ego in half. I do it with love. Okay, why you relationship broken? Because you think you're hot shit. And every man that comes to you ain't never going to be enough for you. How about that? Love yourself first. Why don't you just stick to how about you just sticking to yourself and having a whole bunch of male friends instead of you trying to hold on to one that he would never ever compensate for your ego. He would never ever be enough for you until you figure yourself out. And I have said that to a few people, and they ain't been back since. I said, you got to figure yourself out. You want to blame him for why you unhappy. Who the hell got that kind of control? We can never make you happy until you figure out what it is that block, that itch that you need to really focus on. Why are you going through these relationship trials? It's not every man. It's not every woman. Oh, every woman. No, it could be you. It's your soul expression. How you feel about yourself affects the entire environment, affects the room, affects you and your life all around. You're the operator. And then you got people who want to operate through you, through black magic, through word sorcery, unprotected, vulnerable, and unaware. You will be floating along in a, I call it a colossal torrent flood with no boat, no oar. You're just going to be, somebody need to come down there and rescue you and save you from yourself. Especially somebody who has, oh, I can never be alone. Warfare. Prepare yourself. Don't do it. I would say maybe rephrase that word and say, I love being by myself instead of saying it in a way that's negative. Stop drawing in strength as evil. Some people will use your strength as demonic. Your ability to stand up for yourself. Oh, she's a beast. Okay, why you had okay, beast. Is that a good thing? Or you trying to use her strength or his strength as a negative now? So they're able to stand up for themselves 10 toes deep. And now you want to call them everything under the sun. Oh, they demonic. Ain't nobody got that kind of strength. Ain't nobody got, now you what you know. People will do and speak over you things that would your blessings into curses. There's people out here doing spell work and watching you in the astral realm like you are a battery pack. Your energy is my energy. I'm going to be you, and I'm going to tell everybody that you ain't you so I can be you. Collective. And y'all think I'm joking. There's a woman right now who, this is what I'm experiencing. And I'm like, is she a lesbian? Which I have no problem with the gay community, by the way. I'm an ally of the gays. But I think she's a lesbian. I think she's in love. I don't know. But she's looking at me with this love hate in her eyes. And she's doing spell work. And I'm looking at her like, bitch, what the fuck do you want me to do? Like, I like men. So sorry. Can't help you. Maybe it was a past life. I don't know. She's looking at me trying to tell everybody, I'm a victim of her success. I'm a victim of her skills. I'm a victim of her talent and her words. She has a podcast now. I have to be her. She cannot have a podcast. I'm like, bitch, get a grip. Get a grip. Stop watching me. Somebody, oh, collective. Some of you are protected, but not enough. And a lot of you are gullible shit. Did I say that out loud? Yes, I did. Because you can sit down and have somebody tell you a story, cry, go into the whole Oprah Winfrey cry, Denzel Washington, King Kong ain't got nothing on me. You'll believe it and eat it up like somebody's going to take you, you're going to eat that poison and they're going to take you to slaughter, right along with the person they victimizing. Collective, I need y'all to wake up. Wake up and tell me, with you and me together, oh, oh, oh. It's a hit and run. That's what's given, collective. Collective, I need you to wake up. Somebody's speaking to you, you're eating it up like it's gingerbread and gumdrops. It's poison. Send it back. Somebody's eardropping so hard in the collective that the eardropping, the ooze and acid and the goo is sticking off their ear because you're listening to poison. It has changed your personality and now has gotten you out here, to me, spiritually bewitched in the community. You're acting out of rage. You had a faithful partner. Now you were slow in the street because you didn't listen to Billy Bob, who's a whore himself, about advice about women. I said, why you gonna listen to another Jezebel? You was fine with your relationship with your woman. Now you listen to Billy Bob. Now you got the Jezebel trait. Now you're a whore in the street, treating her all kind of ways. You went from I was just mad because she wanted to go to Chuck E. Cheese and I didn't want to go, but her kids and da 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 da. And then you listen to the wrong ear and get poisoned, and then you go home and disturb your whole household, and then you want to blame her for your doing. I said, why don't you stop listening to people, bewitched sir, who think you think you're smarter than you are with no protection. That a lot of you are so easily and subtly influenced that it's so quick. I watch people flip so quick from a nudge. Somebody can say something in such a believable stance that a lot of you will fall right into it. I can't do it. Some of y'all just want to believe anything. I watch gossip. I watch a girl who gossips so goddamn much that you can tell her anything. She will go back and tell everybody she's like, she kind of like fed on being in the operation of knowing all the gossip. And then she would walk around and everybody would ask her, oh, when you get that label, oh, you know the gossip. Come here, tell me what's going on. And she said, oh, let me tell you, blah, blah, blah. That's the one right there. I'm going to tell you right now, if I know keep the gossipers out your life. They're the door openers to a lot of attacks. Honey, watch out for those ones that think they know everything about other people's lives but their own. Watch out for those ones. They operate. I watched that girl spread rumors about people, talk about everybody but herself for many years in constant warfare. I mean, people don't understand that. Like I said, what you're speaking and hearing, if you're not strong enough, you'll hear it, believe it in your system, and then start to regurgitate those lies as truth. And you could do it for years. Somebody could be in victim mode, crying their eyes out. That's my husband. That's my husband. And he been married to somebody else for 15 years. But you thinking that you believe your friend's diabolical, delusional, crazy as hell. She done had you believing that he was with you and he was supposed to marry you, and come find out he had another woman for 15 years and married to her. So you beating him down, beating the wife down, who's in authority, who had the right, to only find out that she was married to him for all those years. You got people wanting you to believe the story to a narrative that don't make sense. And a lot of you, out of love, will accept whatever truth it is. Oh, she wouldn't lie to me. She's a mentor. She's a spiritual leader of the community. Oh, she wouldn't lie to me. She wouldn't put me in harm's way. She wouldn't have me losing my whole business to fight somebody who's innocent. Yes, they will. You got people at jobs. I worked at a job. I worked at a bank. And the person was sweet as can be will rob you will rob you within 10, I would say less than 5 minutes. You will be robbed by people you trust. No matter how much you like them, no matter how upstanding you might have thought they were. They will literally have you believing that somebody else is the enemy, villain number one, to only find out that they were the whole operator in the spirit. They're the one that was operating in that malice, in that destruction to rob you. For years. Some of y'all do this, they do it for years. Some of you guys are in relationships where you at war with not just him, her, you fighting his whole family and probably your family too at the same damn time. Spiritual warfare is not always what it looks like. A lot of people thinking, oh, I don't see demons, I don't see, spirit don't always operate to the point where it's visible. You hear people talk about mental health like it's blasphemy. Well, that's the operation of a spirit half the time. 99 times out of 10, somebody's going through some sort of spiritual warfare. Not just their own imbalances, but the imbalance of their environment. I be looking at people with the serious side eye half the time. I'm tired of being polite. Let me just tell you that. And there's people in the collective right now watching people victimize themselves and operate in malice and harm to have people who are innocent isolated, abused. Some know the truth and won't say a word. And then they will continue to do so because you haven't spoke up against it. There's people who get into certain positions to lose control, and then they demand control from you. If they can't control their lives, they want to control yours. If they had the chance to make you believe that you would never succeed, they will keep doing this poison to you until you accept it. Do not eat the poison, you sent it back. That's in communication. What you're operating, there's people who are trying to operate as other people in the spirit. There's people who are literally stealing information from people, intellectual properties, spiritual ideas in the mind. They're hijacking you in your sleep, stealing your divine knowledge, your ancestral gifts, and then trying to operate as you, and then tell everybody that you is the villain. You're the evil one. And then these people are gullible in the fog. I said, you've been in the fog. You swore you was top dog. You do readings every goddamn day, and you couldn't see it. You want to charge $600 for a reading, $300 for a reading, then you want to operate a $3,000 fee, and you can't see that type of shit, and you want to charge $3,000? Get out of my face. For let me help you fix this. No, you can't fix shit. You didn't see something 5-7 years operating around you. And then you want to charge $3,000 for what? To bullshit? You couldn't fight a person. They get into they couldn't fight a dog on their best day. People charging $11 readings. I'm looking at your side eye. Stop that. What was it? Cussing at? He said, "Don't do that." If you got somebody who's top tier, say they top tier shit, speaking and operating whole, I'm gonna get you abundance. Pay $11.11 for a money blessing, and you pay for it. Sucker and seeds on your fucking forehead. Some people charge $88.88. I can make you blessed. I can give you $6,000, $5,000. And some of you pay for it. Y'all the same one that you pay for your sins on Saturday, and then you want to operate in amnesia on Sunday in church. And a lot of you tell people now every day, I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it so strong in the spirit, catch me, that some of you are paying for demonic agreements. Some of y'all didn't have the problems you have now until you open doors to rituals, to readings. And I used to do readings, but I was definitely not operating in the darkness. Thank you, Jesus, God. I was not operating in darkness. But a lot of you can't see in the spirit. Let me tell you something. I did a ritual with someone a couple years ago. I would never do another goddamn ritual in my goddamn life from nobody. Don't talk to me. My sisters laugh at me today. Don't invite me to no goddamn witch we call it witch festivals. I will not operate in it. Don't invite me to no spiritual conventions. No, unless it's for motivational speaking. I'll probably do that, but don't ask me shit about no. Can I get a candle? No. Okay. What other people say? Is it the practice? It's not the practice that I have issue. It's the people that operate behind it. So it's not pagan that makes me mad. It's not whoever they worship that makes me mad. It's how they operate is what pisses me off. Okay, what they do to people when they get to these type of events. Like I've been to an event and my sister knew it. Like we went into the parking lot and somebody hexed the entire parking lot. The parking lot was hexed. The whole property was fucking hexed by a particular deity, which I will not say his name, but this deity was dark. And everybody was walking around going kumbaya, and I'm like, is that who's that in the parking lot? Like we could feel it. And you buy that shit and then take it home, and then wonder why your fucking house was blinking off and on because you didn't bought something into your fucking house from that environment. It's not the spirit that I have an issue with. It's the people who operate in it. They ain't got no fucking sense. A lot of you guys are not protected enough. And then you want to, well, I'm just gonna say it like I see it, and then I'm gonna keep it moving. And so right now in the collective, there's a couple of people trying to operate their success through your essence collective. You're asleep. A lot of y'all having these dreams, you're not vocalizing it. You probably think it's something that's off. And what it is that people are doing black magic in your sleep, in your subconscious, and you are not able to strongly fight it off because they are trespassing, not on a normal level. They have trespassed against you to such an extreme. That's one of the reasons why we're going to end up in Revelation. And I'm not playing when I say it. I'm not playing with you at all. One of the reasons why we're going to have Revelations Judgment Day is because how these people are operating in the spirit. A lot of you ain't protected enough. And I ain't playing with you 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You ain't protected enough. You can say love and light, kumbaya, hunger tree. Oh, I don't want no darkness and light. You're going to need to have protection no matter how luminous and light you are. Some of you are very blessed and you are high diving in these love and light communities. And a lot of you do not know how people are operating in the spirit. And you say, oh, that couldn't be me. And there's 29 demons in your presence and you couldn't see. Looking at me with doe eyes. I'm the most innocent child in the world. Stop believing in your psyche about what innocent sounds and looks like. Okay? Because a man who could look like a criminal from head to toe could be actually innocent. And Red Riding Hood is the devil. Don't judge people by their books of how they look. You're going to find out that some of the best people in the world is homeless on the street. Bigger hearts than you'll ever know. A lot of you are operating out of your ego, vanity, and you're getting ready to go into times where you already been tested in the spirit, and now you're going to be trialed in the spirit. A lot of you think you top shit, stealing energies that you're going to have no longer access to and still want to operate in it. You're going to see who it is that's going to act like, and it's going to make me laugh because I always bring up Moses. Moses was anointed, and he still got sized up by sorcerers. Sorcerer still wanted to buck on him. I drop a snake, you drop a snake. Well, most of the snakes swallow your snake. So what the hell about that? It's the same thing happening today. There's gonna be people boasting all over the place. They top shit. I got this. I got the hot heat, and I can do these wonders. Whoop! I can part the Red Sea. But how they operating in the spirit? Just because they can do worlds and wonders don't mean you need to stand right at the damn gate in the blast zone, stupid. And a lot of you are in the fucking blast zone. And I'm looking, I said, oh, y'all gonna get fucking wiped out. Because you're too, some of y'all just can't stop. I can't stop the drama. I can't stop the drama. Just staying right in the blast zone. Looking. I gotta see that fight. She's fighting her. He's fighting him. I said, you just so addicted to the gossip. The demon got you. The entity that thrives on chaos got you hooked and sinker in the blast zone. He can't get you out because he wants to get close. He want to get closer to the fight. And then you want to get around and spin around and talk about it. Oh, y'all see that fight? You see that fight? I watched some of y'all do that, by the way. Hit first in the blast zone. The spirit got y'all so hooked up in the drama that you right in the goddamn blast zone. too dumb, too involved, too passionate. And the way that these people have been obsessed on the collective is abnormally demonic. I don't give a damn. I say it just straight out loud. It's demonic. The way they are obsessing over you and the way they've been gang stalking this collective, it's not a game. It's unusual, abnormal. They're not just standing there trying to say, I'm going to watch her. They want to isolate you and watch you so that they can operate through your blessings, your anointing, your gifts, your abilities, your finances, your love life, your essence. Do not be mere sheep. Do not run off in fear to your death. Running to these practitioners, running to these spiritualists who are operating in ways that you are not able to defend yourself, collective. And then y'all looking at me sideways because you listen to gossip. I say, oh, you think I can't save myself? Well, I've been fighting this battle by myself from a whole group of people just fine, by myself. And then y'all want to look at me sideways. I don't know if you can help me. You can't help yourself. That's why you got that brain aneurysm right now, bitch. Did I say that loud? See? I can go gutter. Let me keep it professional. Let me get it together. Because there was a lady that was going through something. I could have helped her too. But she looked at me like I couldn't help her. I looked at her and I said, you don't know what I've been through when it comes to spiritual warfare, honey. You could not survive. You would not have survived. And she got strong psychic medium gifts. She doesn't even realize that she was cursed by the same individual that tried to curse me. Because that man wanted her psychic abilities and her fame. She was going to go very far. And she was very far. She was getting publishing, well, like hay publishing type levels. She was getting government jobs, contracts as a psychic. And then as soon as she gets it, she goes through something very health destructive. As soon as she called me, I saw it straight away. Boom, this is what she's going through. She said, no, let me call. I said, no, you call what your ego thought could save you. Click. My saving days are over. I'm not running after you if you want to die. It's Jesus like, you got to save yourself. If I tell you to turn your head, not to look back and turn to a pillow of salt, and you want to be stupid and turn around and look at it by yourself, because I'm not looking back, I'm going to let you go fall into the salt pillar, and I'm gone. And I tell you and everybody else, you can stand there, but if you ever see me running, I'm going to leave you behind. I'm not coming. You fall, trip, you holler, I got to see it one more time. You holler, I got to think about it. I'm a book and chuck. That means my shoes and feet will be hitting the ground. I'm running. I'm not trying to boast or stand and operate on curiosity. A lot of you want to question every goddamn thing. You don't have no faith. My faith is unsurmountable. If you see me hit left, you better hit left too. If you see a whole bunch of black people running, you better run too. Don't be standing around. What's going on? What's going on? Still standing, bitch. Not me. My intuition said, click, run, bitch, go. Bitch, run, go. And so when this lady called me during her trials, I knew right away. In her mind, she could not see me helping her, even though I could help her. And when I mean help her, I mean take the whole thing out, and she would have been okay. Is she still sick? Yes, she is still sick. And it's been 5 years. The person she went to never helped her. They said they helped her, but they didn't. Because why? That person was operating in a lesser spirit. That person was operating because he was harming her at the same time. He didn't want her to succeed, so he cast an illness on her where she could not channel the way she channeled because he wanted to operate in her abilities. Y'all think I'm playing, but I'm not. Okay? And people call me today, ask about, oh, such and such is still in the hospital. I know. Yep. Uh-huh. Oh, yep. And I see that same thing for my clients. I can't. I can help you, but so far. If you're operating in slyness, manipulation, confusion, unfaith, I'm a very spiritual person, and I don't underestimate my level of faith. Like when I tell people, like when I say I believe in the Holy Spirit, it's not an understatement. Do not mess with me and Jesus. I will kick you. I will get his sandals and kick you with it. And then Jesus had to come snatch his sandals back. Like I will not flip over tables, but I will damn near think about it. So I operate from the Holy Spirit, but I'm not a traditional Christian. I do know a lot of spiritual activities. I do know a lot of spiritual things. And so people get upset when you hear about Christian witches. So I don't call myself a Christian witch at all because Jesus did not call me that. He called me a way shower. And so I'm going to stick with the way shower path. And I do know how to white magic, heal, and protect myself. And I mean, fully in the spirit. I'm like, don't play with me. Okay. Um, but there's people out here in the collective who is operating in very malice ways in the collective. And I need my collective to understand that you can read every book, you can talk to everybody, you can go to every seminar, but if you're not operating in your spiritual authority and you hand off your authority to these people, I'm going to look at you and go, and don't look at me, I'm gonna look at you. I'm like, you handed it over. Hand it over with your time, your ear, and your belief system, your ability to operate as yourself in your sovereignty. Okay, when you come to me, I want you to be in your full sovereignty. When you come to me, I want you to be in your full authority. Don't play with me talking like you don't know what the fuck going on. I don't know nothing about it. You come to the wrong client. I'm not your type of spiritualist. You need to know what you're doing when you come to me. You need to operate that you believe in what you believe in full guts. I don't care who it is, but you operate in who you believe in and you act like you know about it. Because you come to me looking like you're some innocent doe child, and I'm operating in full authority, and you ain't got none. I'm gonna look at you like, what you expect me to lift you up, honey? I teach you how to operate in your fullness, but you, honey, what the fuck? I'm not playing with you in this time in this vulnerability. A lot of you have gotten educations, and then y'all want to play stupid to somebody who you shouldn't be playing stupid to. Oh, I don't know how to. No, that them days are over. In this time where people are going to see some things and probably soon after March that is going to be probably unnerving. And then you want to still play like you're an innocent child. A lot of you got this victim mindset going on, like sheep. I don't know. And a lot of people thought I was sheep too. A lot of people thought I was very sweet, didn't know I was a warrior. They look at me like, oh, she's so nice and she's so helpful, but I'm a warrior. I may not look like it to you. Play with me if you want to. Think I'm nice and gullible enough if you want to. And you know, as I say, if you want to, you want to play everybody like they dumb. If you want to, go ahead, operate in that foolishness if you want to, collective. Because when you start thinking, shit start flying. Maybe I think too much. So I see the collective, whatever black magic that someone's sending out to the collective as of right now in the moment is not working, and they're in fear. They're trying to operate in a way where they're guarded, trying to have access to you. They're trying to get access not just to your energy, but to your creativity because it's very alluring. Whatever you guys are operating in is very attractive. Some of y'all could be getting new jobs or new positions. You look very attractive. You got a good essence about you. And somebody seeing you in peace and happy and transforming because whatever magic they have been doing to the collective is no longer working in regards to them able to harvest your energy or your essence anymore. And these people that are talking or operating against you could be not just young people, but also people who could be like your parents, your supervisor, your boss. Again, a lot of you guys don't know how people are operating in the spirit just because you work with them, just because you live with them, you see them every day. You think you know people, but you do not know how they operate. So, so what some of you guys are getting ready to get into a space where you're going to be seen in your full authenticity. Okay. I don't want you to be vulnerable. That's why I keep talking about protection and the levels of protection. I feel like a lot of you, of your Christian base, you need to really get into your Christian path, not just on Sunday, but every day. I really feel like you're going to need to operate in that spirit in the coming months. Coming months, you're going to need to operate like you walk the spirit, not just pretend that you walk on Sunday. And any other spirits that you may work with. Okay. A lot of you guys need to not go walk around in this dazed environment, because a lot of you guys, I feel like, it's holding your hands and you're in this kind of dazed environment, and people could easily spill a whole lot of information to you that you would think is gold, and come to find out you have swallowed poison, and now we're gonna have to do deliverance on your ass, because you accepted something in agreement, not knowing how it actually operated. And I think a lot of you guys may need to study this week about how things operate in the spirit, and uh, and stop playing dumb and start learning how to operate in your own authority, not other people's authority. Don't follow suit of what people are teaching you nowadays. Safely do so. If you're going to do something for protection, do it safely. Okay, the middle path. Don't get into a point where you're going so low that all this baneful work that you've been doing is backfiring and you're losing your whole life trying to destroy somebody else's, thinking you're protecting yourself. But a lot of you guys do baneful work immediately when you're mad at somebody, when you want to fight somebody, you're jealous, you want to you want to destroy their vehicle, their finances, their mind, and then they overcome it, and then it breaks you. And a lot of it doesn't hit right away. A lot of it could be 5, 10 years down the road when stuff starts breaking down on you. A lot of people think black magic uh, can reverse immediately, like 2 or 3 months down the road. A lot of it can be long term. Some of the stuff that you probably said without your awareness of your speech could lock in for a long period of time, especially if you call the wrong spirit. And some of these spirits don't give a dang. Don't be talking about the spirit, because they gonna make me laugh. Somebody's trying to bind you and they can't. Someone wants you isolated because they want access to your destiny. Again, somebody's still operating in a collective. Somebody wants to bind you from speaking, having finances, love, but it's not working. They want you isolated, but you're living in your destiny, and they can't handle it because they want full access to you. Somebody's obsessed, and they're obsessed in a way where they're doing it behind the privacy of their home. And so this is like you going with a coworker, not knowing that the coworker got a shrine of you in a damn closet, and they hack your computer and watch you on your computer screen and hack your shit and emails and phone calls in the middle of the night the whole time, because this fucking person's super obsessed, whoever this is, and they're pretending to be logical people. They're smiling. How's my friend doing? I heard about them. They act like they're concerning. They act like they're loving. Honey, they're the opposite. Okay? Somebody's operating in falseness. Somebody that looks okay is not okay, honey. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Somebody who says, "Oh, I'm not obsessed with you, but I got a whole shrine of you in the closet." That's the vibe that I'm getting. And so somebody's doing a lot of gossiping in regards to you, collective, as well. So again, somebody is doing some sort of poisoning. All right, but you're healing. Somebody wants to steal something from you. Okay? It could be your time, could be your sex, your sexual energy. It could be your ideals, your intellectual properties. Somebody is lying about what they're trying to get from you or concerned about you. They could be asking other people. Whoever it is, they're doing it in a very obsessive, creepy, hidden way. They think they're like, I call it the stealth obsessed person that's hiding in the closet, but then come to work and act like everybody else to only find out that they have a shrine of you in their secret room. And I'm not joking when I mention this. Somebody's obsessed, and they may come in a power, space of authority. This person may have like a high position, or they could be someone that could be your family member. And when I say obsessed, they could be like in an unhealthy way, like they gossip about you all the time. They want to see what you're doing all the time. Sometimes some of y'all got parents that are real, like overly want to know what you're doing every single type of a day. And it could be narcissists to you, where they do a lot of head games. Well, you don't come see us enough. Well, you don't do this enough, and you don't, and your head game is just spinning because you don't know what's going on. They want to act concerned about you, but you feel like it's unhealthy. Okay, right? And this could be the same thing about a coworker. This coworker says, "Oh, I take you home," but bitch, you should not take. You should take an Uber. You know what I mean? Somebody wants to look like they like you, concerned about you, but at the same time, it could be also somebody from a gay community, like somebody who's hiding their sexual preference. It could be a gay male that's obsessed with a female that wants to embody the female. It could be a female that's liking another female but doesn't want to show that she's, sexually interested in her in a certain way. So someone in a gay community or some sort of community, let me just rephrase gay, but someone in some sort of community that could be, LGBT community has some sort of attraction to you. Could be a male hanging out with you that has not expressed his sexual orientation and he's obsessed with you, male to male or male to female. And the same for a female, could be female to female to male. And what they want to do is they want to embody your essence. They want to operate in your spirit. That means they want to operate, talk like you, dress like you, live the life that you're supposed to be living through themselves, but siphoning from you. Okay, collective? And you're protected. And they may be working with other people to do this. That could be working with your coworkers, could be working with other people to dig up information about you. And they're addicted to doing so. So this person is like maybe doing spiritual readings on you consistently crazy amount of times a day, or have your family members or co-workers operating, again, I'm going to say operating in a way where it's organized to dig up information about you that appears harmless or in secret, and they've been addicted to it. It's like they get a thrill of doing this behind your back, not knowing that the whole time, maybe 8 to 6 months, you've been working in this job to only find out that your supervisor's asking all the coworkers who you're dating and then hexing you that your current partner breaks up with you, or keeping you financially stagnant because they don't want you to get promoted because they want you to stay in their department. So a lot of you got that kind of malice that looks normal, looks like it's just normal consequences in your life. You only find out that somebody's crazy than a box of Cracker Jacks. And that's what it looks like. Somebody, again, wants to operate in secret. They look innocent. They look like they're helping you, but they're not. They're helping themselves from either not you from getting like for some of y'all who's in a job environment. It could be your supervisor who's acting warm, friendly, like nothing's going on, but operates with you and the staff where they're getting information about you. Like, for instance, someone who has a real love infatuation with you. They hear that you're dating someone, they go home and do something evil, like spell work, gossip about you, um, create a narrative about you so that you'll break up, so that you stay in their eyesight. And they could also be doing this in a way where your job environment is that they're keeping you from succeeding, maybe fudging your numbers or saying that your numbers are not high enough so they can keep you in the environment close to them so that you never succeed. You getting a new car or maybe trying to get something new, they're trying to keep it from you so that you stay close to them. And they're reaping the benefits of prosperity and things by keeping you down. And this person may also be working with other people to do so. This person may want you in a third party. This person could be married or already in a relationship, but want access to you. And this could be the same thing in a job environment or just home life, where your mom may be operating from keeping you to herself, and then you got a partner. It could look just like that as well, where your family could be manipulating you from growth as well, or growth in your own relationships. Whatever is happening is coming to an end. It's not going to survive whatever this malice this person has, because your life is starting to be very alluring to them. They're jealous and they're operating in secrecy about this jealousy they have for you. And it could be also involving family members, siblings, co-workers, seeing your gifts, seeing what's coming to you, and then some of them wants you to be happy. So it says there's someone that's in alignment with you, or you're going to get someone who's in alignment with you, who wants to see you happy, peaceful, and calm, and seeing that you're transforming. And so this is not negative for them. So somebody's seeing your transformation not as a negative right now. Someone is trying to operate and causing you financial blockages, severe financial blockages. It could go all the way back to 30 years or so, collective. So the collective right now needs to watch how their finances are trying to transform. There is a group, again, a cult group of family who is operating against the collective currently in some sort of financial blockage because they're trying to energetically direct it towards themselves, smiling like they're helping you, collective, but they're helping themselves. To me, is this greed with a smile, greed with a plug, like a energy battery of success, but it's false. Somebody's really trying to get y'all, get you good. So the collective is literally coming in strong. The collective is coming in strong, strong. Actually, they're top dog. You're coming in with justice, but someone wants to distort justice. Okay, somebody fake is going to come to you, or someone may do something in regards to some sort of justice that you're getting. You could be overcoming some sort of issue, collective, but whatever they're trying to do, they're going to come to you just about when you're getting this justice, because you're going to get justice from this group for sure, 100%. It's already happening to me. It's already done. But whatever it is, this person is going to come to you like they never done anything against you. This could be a third person, a person who stood in the sidelines that was aware of everything, but never said nothing, coming up to you. You're going to have some fake person come to you, collective, wanting to be part of the collective. Okay, but they're too later, a little too late now. And the person that may be doing this could be a copycat. This person could see that you're winning now and that you have overcome whatever challenges at your job environment, your home, maybe black magic, whatever's happening, collective. And they see you overcoming. And now they want to come over and play nice. After you go through a whole shit show, they want to come over and play nice after they see that you get your justice. They want to act like they were never a part of it. I saw you go through it. I saw you go through it. And now they want to come play nice. But they want to copy you, collective. And they want to come play nice. But they got the devil energy. Honey, don't do it. Keep them at, honey, they're going to be. This is somebody who wants to be cool and collective to you, collective. They want you to see them as cool, calm, and collective. But honey, they're unhinged with a side dash of crazy. They're a side dash of crazy. So you got somebody who's coming to see you level up, and they want to come right at the point of your level up and act like they've been friends or on your side the whole time, collective. This could be your family member, co-worker, friend. You guys got some people who are hiding amongst the crowd, but they're rats, okay? And they're unstable as well. So this is somebody who's probably behind the scenes completely unhinged, like I said, operating with your shrine in the closet. And I'm not joking when I say that. Somebody again wants to appear like they're happy and the world is fine and nothing is wrong, but the whole time they're deceptive and a trickster. They're operating in falseness. Saying falseness 3 times in this card deck, by the way. It says false, fraud, charlatan. So some of y'all could be dating a person that's not who they say they are, or they have created a narrative against you saying that you're not who say you are, and they're going to be found out as a charlatan, fraud, or a deceiver who has a smile on their face like all is right with the world. I am not a liar, but liar is like beaming on their forehead. So some of you guys got that going on. Thankfully, collective, you love yourself, but they want to make like they love themselves, but it's all an illusion. Somebody may have spilled over the bottle of glamour magic, spilled it all over themselves, smothered themselves in love potion 99, and then want to come outside acting like, hey, I love myself. I will never do something like that. That's beneath me. And the whole time they operating in that type of spirit. The spirit, people are going to see the mask fall off, and what's behind that mask is completely hideous, okay? I actually had a vision of somebody's mask falling off, and honey, what was behind it was damn near diabolical. Somebody get the holy water. It was that damn bad. I said, oh shoot, they can't even look in the mirror no more. That's how bad they been operating in the spirit. They can't even look in the mirror no more. So somebody's wanting to come to you like they're like life is great. They love themselves completely 100%, and whatever you heard was bullshit. But the whole time they're operating in bullshit. And they want to make you see you. They want you to see them as a cool person, and they're not cool, honey. They're walking and operating in very devilish energy. I don't give. They want you to feel safe while you're in danger, collective. And now they're getting caught, and they're gonna run. They're gonna get caught for this behavior, and they're gonna run, but they're not gonna be able to run fast enough. They want to feel like the victim in your victory. Your success and whatever you got going on, happy, you getting engaged, you going on a trip, you getting a car, you getting a promotion, whatever you got going on, collective, whatever success you have is gonna make them feel like they're a victim, and they want to do magic against you based on it. Their sorrow and their sadness, they want to light a candle. They want to speak against you. They want to create further false narratives against you, collective. And with your beautiful gifts and your beautiful um, spirit, collective, you will get justice. Somebody may also be trying to tell people that you're sick, that maybe you got some sort of disease. Maybe you got mental health issues. Whatever it is, you're going to get justice about that too. That's going to get cleared up. If that's the I call it the spiritual haze, the fog, the people has been eating up and eating all that poison, to come find out that all that was lies. Whatever sickness that they are mentioning, you're either going to overcome the sickness or you never had it. Okay, and they may have been telling everybody you had some sort of sickness or that you're going through some mental illness, something in those orders, or they was trying to cast sickness on you and it did not work. And this was all what they wanted to do was to entrap you, to keep you from succeeding. And it could be coming from a masculine that's been doing it in the spirit. Actually, a female that's operating as a masculine, and a male that could be operating in this energy, okay? And they've been trying to emotionally manipulate you, not just you, but anybody who had a listening earshot. And they're going to have to change their behavior one way or the other through this. Whatever way they've been manipulating people to believe in a storyline, they're going to have to change and make adjustments, because whatever storyline that they have been going on for a long time, they can't keep operating in that spirit no more. The story is not making sense no more. It's like somebody keeps saying the same story over and over and over again, trying to make people believe it. Or this spirit of concern and friendliness, they want people to believe it, but something is not panning out. They want also the people to think that you and them are getting along. So could be telling people that you and them have been talking, or that you and them have been getting along, and you haven't seen this person in years. Or you haven't operated in their environment for a long time. And they could be telling people that they talked to you yesterday, I talked to them last night. All this stuff is made up. They're making stuff up, collective. Yeah, someone's making up lies about you. They could be telling people that y'all was talking or whatever it was, and they're lying. They got people operating out of emotions too. Like I see somebody going through some sort of emotion as this person is telling them stories about you. One minute like, oh, she's a bitch and she's this, and they're upset and they want to fight for the person. The next minute they're like, oh, we back together, we talk good, and they're like, the person's like emotionally driven by the storyline. Somebody, just not the person that's obsessed, but the whole group of people they have told is overly emotionally invested in a very unhealthy way. And there's a lot of remorse and grief, not just from the person who's doing it, but the people who operated and listening to this lie. It's also going to be in some sort of grief. Spirit says, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Yeah. It's all based out of the insecurity. So all this times, Spirit said these people were slow. These people all this time didn't know that this person was operating out of insecurities and doing it in such a way that they didn't have the discernment to know that this person was operating out of malice with a smile. So whatever's happening, collective, if the veil is being shown, this person is a slut too. This person gets around, by the way. This person sleeps around heavily. They could be a prostitute, or they could be very lustful. Okay, very Jezebel spirit. They're very lustful, collective. So somebody could be sleeping around a lot. They could be telling people that you're sleeping around a lot. Whatever it is, the narrative is not working no more. And this is the energies of the current collective energies. It's a hot, bloody mess. Somebody's operating out of like they're innocent, like they're your innocence, and you're the villain to their actions of wickedness. Again, it's giving like the good is bad and the bad is good, and somebody's doing a lot of switching of hands and switching of talking, and people are looking at the villain as innocent and they're innocent as a villain right now in the collective. And it should be breaking up soon if people got good sense. It should be coming some sort of awakening. This fog that people are under, and it's a heavy fog, should be clearing up. If not, y'all better protect yourselves. You better protect yourselves from the distortions of delusions and illusions that people are creating through gossip. They're creating some kind of delusional illusion through gossip. Okay? And this is all facts. This is not made up. This is not hoot hoot the hoot hoot the hoot. And we're gonna see what the last few things are and see what's going on. Yeah, the collective, you're gonna see somebody who's been superficial, fake to you, exposed, because whatever intent to harm, they did it in a very charming way. They had the masses believing that they were the savior. Oh no, I'm only here to help her. And the whole time they wanted to, hacksaw you in the back closet somewhere. Somebody is crazier than a box of Cracker Jacks, okay? And the collective took things by face value and maybe not discern what they were hearing in their ear that was poisoning their mental state, their mindset, and their decision making. Collective, you were not protected enough from the individual that came to you with a charming, warm, natural, I'm totally safe. I'll never harm a kitten. Come find out that person, female or male, is a diabolical maniac. Because they want to harm somebody and they're going to get exposed for it. Okay, so somebody who's been acting like they were good peeps and were not good peeps to the collective. The collective was part of their strategy in trying to harm someone seriously. Okay. And they did it in a way where nobody knew. Strong, silent, and malicious. And they were very mysterious. So you never knew what was going on in their lives. But that's what they were operating in. So collective, that's the message. Some of you, the collective is going to awaken to some sort of truth about somebody operating like they were innocent, good people, to wholly find out that they were operating in malice and seriously dangerous intent to harm someone with a smile. All right, collective, that's the message. And I will talk more soon.